everybody, it's oopspaw, and today we're going to talk about yard work. Yeah! So we're going to start with the tree. We had a beautiful birch tree, about 20 years old, and it's ruining our basement. Because of the roots, it's attracting water, and so it would make the basement leak. So this summer, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, or a little more, my brother Corey came and he cut it down. So I'm going to show you the stump, I'm going to show you the brush, and then when he cut it down, he cut it into, took the chainsaw and cut it into bite-sized pieces so that we could put it in the wood stove in the kitchen. And so they had piled that over by the house, and yesterday I went and took that pile and piled it in the garage. So I'll show you where it was piled, and then I'll show you where it is now in the garage. So that's project number 1. So this is the stump. This is what's left of the oh so beautiful birch tree at the corner of the house. How sad is that? If I can find a picture, I'll input it here of the old birch tree. Now you can see this flat spot here. This area here is where they had piled up the bite-sized pieces that Corey had cut with the chainsaw. Then I went and loaded all the wood here in the cart. Normally we have a wheelbarrow, but the wheelbarrow is broken. So we hooked up the cart to the tractor lawnmower and I drove it back and forth. And now we're standing in the garage, and this here is the birch tree. So that entire pile is once upon a time our most loved and beloved birch. Poor little guy. But anyways, since we cut it down, the basement is now dry. So clearly the birch was the problem. Hi again. So project number 2 is that now that we've cut down the birch tree and I've moved all the wood, there's a contractor coming and he's going to dig up all the roots. And so now I have to remove anything that's in the front corner of the house. And that Mom has 2 flower beds out front. One is actually just a bed of weeds, but it does have a stone wall around it. And so I had to remove the stones, which is a big project. It's a back-breaking work, people. Back-breaking. But anyways, I put the stones in the cart on the tractor lawnmower and drove it around to the shed. We have a little shed at the side of the house, and so I'm told to put the stones there for now until we find a new spot for them. So I have done that. I've moved the stones from the weed garden. I haven't moved the stones from the flower bed yet because we're waiting, because maybe I don't have to move them at all, but we'll see. But I thought I would show you the wall here beside the shed. So this is my stone wall. These are the stones that we used for the flower beds. And yipper, and now they're all piled here. There's still more to get, but for now these are the ones I've done. So this is the, well, once upon a time was a garden bed, and you'll see there's a line that runs right along here. This is where the stones had been laid originally, and then I took them up. But really the only stuff in here is weeds, and then there used to be a holly bush back here and a cedar bush, which is right here that you can see, but the deer eat the cedar bush, and so it's never really grown or amounted to much of anything. So if we lose it in the long run, it's not a big deal. Okay, so project number 3 is taking the apples off the apple tree. We have 2 apple trees in the yard. The one has really good apples, the other one has, you know, so-so apples. The deer eat most of the apples off the good tree and leave the other tree. And but it's still good for making things like applesauce and apple crisps. And so my job is to get the apples off the apple tree. And I'm just going to take a second and flip the camera around and show you the apple tree. So this is it. These are the apples that are still left. There's all kinds on this particular tree. And if we just walk over here, you will notice that this is the second tree, and that you are hard pressed. There are only like 5 or 6 apples left on this tree, and they're over here. There's a few apples up there, and there's a couple apples here, and that's it. So this tree is bare, whilst this tree over here has loaded down still. So I'll have to take care of that today too. So you may be wondering just exactly how do I get the apples out of the tree, and the old-fashioned way, and that is to shake the tree. That's what the deer do. Excuse me, they get up on their hind legs, and with their front legs they push and shake the tree. And the apples fall out and they eat what falls out. And that's also how you know when the apples are ripe, because when they're ripe they'll fall. So I shook the tree and the apples fell out. And now I'm just going to show you the apples. So now the grass, as you can see, is covered with apples, and I'm going to pick them all up. And there's still apples left in the tree, but I'll shake the tree another day and see what else will come out of it.
Our existence has serious side effects turned on.
So project number 4 is to take the wood that we stacked up, I didn't stack it, other people stacked it, and to throw it down into the basement. So I don't know how many cord of wood are here, 4 cord or something like that, maybe as much as 6. And what we do is we stack it during the summer so that it can dry, and then we throw it down into the hole. We have a hole in the basement just for the wood, and then we go down into the basement afterwards and stack it in lines against the basement wall. And so I'm just going to show you here the tarp covered wood. So this is our wood. There's a couple lines, so we've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 lines there, and you can see it around this side as well. And so all this wood will go down into the basement, and we'll use this. This will be our winter wood for our winter furnace. So we have this little attachment on the far wall of the house, and we have this little trap door. And then down in the trap door is a hole. And so we throw all the wood down in here. Now 6 cord, usually we have about 6 cord of wood, and it won't all fit in here at once. But then we have this big door over there, and which you can see into the basement. And we'll come down the stairs and over here, and then we'll pull out all the wood and we'll stack it. There's that wall that runs this way along the basement, and we'll stack it there. So I finished up what I was going to do for today. There's still tons and tons to do, and I'll show you what's in the hole. So now the hole is filled up. Well, not filled up, but it's full. And there's the door again. Yeah. So I just did this section right here. The wood was stacked here, and then I just did it from here up to this point. And I'm going to pull the tarp back down over in case we get rain, although it's not calling for any, but just to keep it as dry as possible before it goes into the basement. And there's a whole lot more wood to do, but that is for another morning.